Okay. Hey. So, I'm sure by now you guys have heard about the beating in Portland. You know about the Gestapo troops kidnapping people and beating people. There was a Navy veteran that was beaten. I think he broke some bones in his hand by federal agents, shadowy federal officials. Uh, they beat him with a baton, and it's on camera. That like, and I spoke earlier. I spoke last night about Michael Brooks and how he's inspired me, but also how a lot of what he talked about was kind of above me, you know. Um, but I kind of like his unique perspective on these crises, on different things going on. Brooks was honestly to me, he was more of a long range guy, whereas that's what he was. But it was still interesting to see his takes on different things we see going on a day-to-day basis. That's lost. There's an absence in my I guess echo chamber. Someone is not there anymore. I don't know. Anyway, so uh, CNN showed it. A bunch of people have shown it. Them beating the crap out of him. I guess they hit him in the back of the head as he's walking away. Michael Brooks and Majority Report have spoke extensively on the Border Patrol and all that. And I never really cared much about the Border Patrol. Like that's one of those liberal things where I go along with you, even though I don't really care. I deal with Mexicans all day. I don't. Yeah. We're talking about defunding law enforcement. We're having a discussion, nationwide debate, a nationwide discussion on how we want to do policing going into the future. A lot of people probably don't have a lot of knowledge about Border Patrol because it's a federal agency and it's not something the average person would deal with. It'd be like me talking about a major at CMPD. It's a very low chance any of you will ever encounter a major on your day-to-day life. You just wouldn't. They're not out in the streets. They're not doing anything. They're not that's not their job until now. We're watching Border Patrol, Border Tech, we're watching Cuss, we're watching these people act as a secret Gestapo police force, refusing to identify themselves, obscuring identities, beating people for all of this. This is different. Tim Black spoke about how this is going to change because he's an older white guy who's military. I get it. I mean, maybe. But I think they're making a case why these people should be defunded. Like, to me, Trump's whole narrative is to say, like, Biden is a communist. Biden is the head of Antifa. Biden wants to defund police. That's essentially what he said before the Fox News interview he did. Biden has never, ever said anything about defunding police. But I realize Trump's not talking to educated voters. That's why he's down among college voters, because college voters are like, dude, he's lying. Like, these are bull-faced lies. Like, it's kind of like when I was working for Samaritan's Purse. Right after I left Samaritan's Purse, I was in December last year, before the pandemic started, and I was leaving to come back home, leaving the hotel up there, and I remember on hearing on the radio or something them talking about Christianity Today. That's an organization. That's a periodical I think that Billy Graham helped to start. Had spoke out against Trump, said that he's not worthy of the job, and Trump called it a liberal rag. Now I worked for Samaritan's Purse, so I have a bit of a knowledge of the way they do things. Those are very politically conservative people. Period. and Franklin Graham said some kind of stuff. But those are not like people who are pro-gay. Those are not, no. Those are not like. But I knew what Trump was doing then, as I know now, that this isn't about a rational narrative, because he's not speaking to rational people. He's speaking to people who are already sleeping with a gun, the homosexuals, the neo Confederates, those kind of people, and that's just what that is. To basically paint everybody with the brush of being a radical liberal. I think also that doesn't work because there's so many people out here out of work. There's so many people out here hurting. People are going to lose their unemployment. So many people who are going to realize more and more that all of this could be prevented if we had a reasonable man in the White House who doesn't think that wearing masks is political or a PR stunt, that certain things are not about PR, certain things are about, or money, certain things are about, hey, there are certain things scientists, we should seek scientist counsel, that they're not about opinion or none of that stuff. Trump didn't see that, you know. This is dangerous. And that guy that got beat up in Portland said he was afraid he might be shot because one of them had the gun on him the whole time. That guy to me had big cojones. But like I said, Trump's whole narrative is they want to defund the police. They want to get rid of police. They want to do this, you know. And it's funny because his narrative isn't so much that cops aren't bad. It's he's talking to suburbanites that the blacks are going to take over, crime is going to go way up, you won't be safe. That's what Trump is putting out there. Not that they're not bad. It's hey, you don't need to worry about that white man or white woman. That's something the blacks or someone else, wink wink, should worry about. That's what Trump is talking about. That's why he had a little coon bend over Carson go out there and say, well, he had talked to black people at the Trump golf courses, people that wash the cars and clean the dishes, that they like Trump. That's not designed to make black people feel better. That's designed to make white people feel as though Trump's not a racist. So what if there's a bunch of black people that play golf at his courses? So what? I mean, the guy that I worked for at the Eagle was probably a racist. I'm done with that. Just because you work a job doesn't mean you like your boss. Doesn't mean you want to go hang out with your boss. Doesn't mean you go out and smoke a blunt on. That's not how. But that's the mindset of an oligarch that's totally out of touch with reality. You know, you can be a good boss. That I'm like, okay, yeah, he's a good guy. That don't mean I want to go hang out with you. Don't mean I want to go do something with you. I just feel as though they're making a great point to why we need to defund police. I'm not like Mr. Black, Tim Black, to where I'm saying that, oh, a white man got beat up, so that means things gonna change. No, I don't believe that. But I think you have a lot of white folks who are not political, who don't really protest, who don't do any of that stuff. They see what's going on, they see the beatings, they see people crying and getting hurt, and I think it gets real to them. And that's probably the most we can hope for, is that it gets real to them, you know. I just hope they understand no one is talking about abolition of police. We're talking about divesting money away from them and moving, like example, Skid Row stuff. Why are you using police officers to deal with the poor? Social workers can handle that. You have a lot of jobs. You have a lot of business that police handle that's not violence involved. That doesn't do with violence. You know, and what Trump, his minions are put out that, oh, every day, every moment, every second is a gun battle. That's their narrative. You know, that's not real. It's not real. People have, you know, that's craziness. Total craziness. Look, if Trump was smart, It's like Trump wants to go all in on everything. That's to me like what I take from Trump. If anything, I would say about him is he goes in 100% on everything, and sometimes you don't do that. Sometimes you go half in, half like Trump never works with anybody. He doesn't. He doesn't work with anybody. Like he doesn't even pretend to work with anybody. Not at all. Not at all. This is dangerous. And this man could have got hurt a lot worse. You're dealing with pigs. You're dealing with animals. You're dealing with everything Alex Jones warned us about back in the 2000s. Just militarized police and all that. Except now the fascists like. You know the good thing though is when you get in office and they do these gun rallies and they run around Charlottesville like stuff and they want to act violent and crazy, use jack boots on them. That's what conservatives don't get. Trump is making a big power grab right now. And I'll acknowledge that much of the power he has was enriched by Obama. Was, the NDAA 2012 stuff. I'm not gonna lie. And this is the danger in it. I just feel like Border Patrol is making the best argument, a much better argument than I could ever make for why they should be defunded. Big time, It's kind of like when police beat somebody up and get caught on camera and the police are like, they're responsible, the cops. Well, he's just trying to get $1 and he's just trying to get rich. And it's like, yep, he sure is. And just think that if you had cops that had any kind of sense, he wouldn't have got any money. He could have had 100 million cameras here. But until your officer chose using excessive and unnecessary force on that subject, there was no way to make any money. It's like me having my car out there. If there's no gas in the car, it doesn't matter what I could. You know what I mean? Like, the car ain't going nowhere. I need certain things to make the car go, right? Need the keys. I need, Peace.